How do you fix an operating system boot failure? Imagine turning on your computer and instead of seeing your desktop, you get a black screen or an error message. That's a boot failure, and it can be frustrating. But don't worry, fixing it is often straightforward once you understand what's going wrong. When a computer starts, it goes through a series of steps to load the operating system. First, the firmware, which can be basic input-output system or unified extensible firmware interface, checks the hardware with a power on self-test. Then it looks for a bootable device, like your hard drive or solid-state drive, and loads the bootloader. The bootloader then hands control to the operating system. If any of these steps don't happen correctly, the system won't start. Common reasons for boot failure include incorrect settings in the BIOS or UEFI, which is the firmware that manages startup. For example, if the boot order is wrong and the system tries to boot from a device that doesn't have an operating system, it will fail. Faulty or disconnected storage drives can also cause issues. If the drive isn't connected properly or has hardware problems, the system can't find the files it needs. Corrupted system files or a missing bootloader can also stop the process. Hardware failures like a failing hard drive or bad RAM can prevent the system from loading. Outdated drivers or firmware that aren't compatible with your hardware can also cause problems. To fix a boot failure, start by checking all hardware connections. Make sure cables to your storage drives are secure and that no external devices are interfering. Next, restart your computer and enter the BIOS or UEFI settings by pressing keys like Delete, F2, or F12 during startup. Once inside, verify that the primary boot device is set to your main hard drive or solid-state drive. If it isn't, change the order and save the settings. If your drive isn't listed, it could be a hardware issue that needs professional attention. Most operating systems have built-in repair tools. For Windows, you can use Startup Repair or access the Windows recovery environment. For Linux, boot from a live USB stick and run tools like Fusk to check and repair the file system. For macOS, start in recovery mode by holding Command and R keys during startup, then use Disk Utility to repair the disk or reinstall the operating system if necessary. Running disk checks with tools like CheckDisk for Windows or Fusk for Linux can identify and fix corrupted files that might be blocking startup. Updating drivers and firmware can also help. Use manufacturer tools or visit the hardware maker's website to download the latest updates. Sometimes outdated software causes compatibility issues that prevent booting. If your system starts but still fails to load the operating system properly, try a clean boot. This process disables non-essential startup programs and services, helping you identify if a software conflict is causing the problem. If all else fails, reinstalling the operating system may be necessary. Remember to back up your important data first if possible. Reinstalling can fix corrupted files or bootloader issues that can't be repaired otherwise. In real-world situations, IT professionals often follow these steps to restore systems after hardware upgrades or failures. Knowing how to troubleshoot and fix boot failures can save you time and prevent data loss. Each operating system has its own tools and procedures, but the core ideas remains the same. Checking hardware, adjusting BIOS or UEFI settings, using repair tools, running disk checks, updating software, and reinstalling if needed are the main ways to get your computer back up and running.